Ano ang Global Food Security? Ayon sa 1996 World Food Summit, ang seguridad sa pagkain ay tumutukoy sa kondisyon kung saan tayong mga tao ay dapat mayroong mga physical and economic access sa sapat at ligtas na mga pagkain upang tugunan ang ating mga pangangailangan. Narito sa ibaba ng table kung anong ibig sabihin ng mga salita o symbols na nasa loob ng table. Global Biosphere Management Model. The Global Biosphere Model is a global recursive dynamic partial equilibrium model of the forest and agricultural sectors. Dynamic, ibig sabihin po is pabago-bago, kung saan ang economic optimization ay nakabatay sa equilibrium modeling approach. Alongside primary products, the model has several final and byproduct for which the processing activities are defined. Yung mga pangunahing produkto kasama ang mga produkto na tapos nang gawin ay tinukoy kung papaano pinroseso. The model computes market equilibrium for agricultural and forest products by allocating land use among production activities to maximize the sum of producer and consumer surplus, subject to resource, technological, and policy constraints. Kinocompute rin ng Global Biosphere Management Model ang market equilibrium sa produktong pang-agrikultura at forest products sa pamamagitan ng paglalaan ng paggamit ng lupa para mapakinabangan ang kabuuan ng producer at consumer.
Ang image model is isa po siyang assessment model with a strong biophysical component which is pwede siyang gamitin independently or in conjunction with a global CGE model. Isang halimbawa po nito ay magnet. Ang integrated model to assess the global environment or image, ito po ay naglalarawan ng global environmental issues using a set of link submodels which is ito po yung nagde-describe sa energy system, agricultural economic, land use, natural vegetation, and the climate system. Because of the socio-economic model, we distinguish the 26 regions, while the models for land use and industrial ecosystem mostly work at 5 times 5 minutes and 30 times 30-minute grids. Agricultural demand, production, and trade are modeled via the magnet model, which is integral part of image framework in most scenario studies. The use of bioenergy plays a role at several components of the image system. Of agricultural intensification and regional production ay tumutukoy sa future land use. In allocation the regional production to the grid scale, potential yields according to LPJML mode are used together with other suitability considerations. LPJML mode, isang integral dynamic na pinagsamang bahagi ng image, ikinukompute din nito ang mga ani ng agrikultura, ang carbon at water cycle sa lahat ng terrestrial system. Lastly, the emissions associated with land use and land use change at ang energy system upang matukoy ang pagbabago ng klima, which then affects all biophysical submodels. Input and output prices are endogenously by the market so as achieve supply and equilibrium. Households are assumed to distribute income across savings and consumption expenditures according to fixed budget shares following a COBB-Douglas expenditure function. So, yung mga paggastos ng pribadong pagkonsumo ay inilalaan sa mga kalakal by introducing a richer representation of income effect in the demand system. In particular, marginal budget shares vary with the expenditure level using a non-homotic constant differences of elasticity expenditure function. Government consumption is allocated across commodities according to fixed budget shares using a CD expenditure function. Labor, capital, and natural resources are fully employed in each region and the aggregated supply of each factor equals its demand. Thus, factor markets are competitive between sectors but not between regions. Magnet assumes that the products traded internationally are differentiated by country of origin following the Armington assumptions. This assumption generates smaller and more realistic responses of trade to price changes than implied by models of homogeneous product.
Ang magnet image combination ay binubuo po ng isang modelong CGE at isang pinagsamang modelo na tinatawag na image. Ang magnet model ay isang GTPA basin model na may modular structure at flexible in regional and commodity aggregation na nagpapahintulot na iaangkop sa mga partikular na katanungan sa pananaliksik such as the impact of the bio-based economy or the impact of common agricultural policy. Ang magnet model ay isang multi-regional, multi-sectoral that apply general equilibrium model based on neoclassical microeconomic theory. It is an extended version of the Standard Global Trade Analysis Project or GTAP model. Magnet assumes perfect competition. Ibig sabihin, ang mga producer ay mga kumukuha ng presyo kung saan upang makabuo ng output. They choose the cheapest combination of imperfectly substitutable labor, capital, land, natural resources, and intermediates. At the core, magnet is an input or output model which is nag-uugnay sa mga industriya sa mga value-added chain mula sa mga pangunahing produkto sa patuloy na mas mataas na yugto ng intermediate processing hanggang sa huling pagpupulong ng mga produkto at serbisyo para sa pagkonsumo. Ang level of production in a given area is determined by the agricultural or forestry productivity in that area by market prices and by the conditions and costs associated to conversion of the land, to expansion of the production, and when relevant to international market access. Aside from that, ang kalakalan ay batay lamang sa pagiging competitive sa gastos dahil ang mga kalakal ay ipinapalagay sa homogeneous. Ito ay nagbibigay daan sa pagsubaybay ng mga bilateral na daloy ng kalakalan sa pagitan ng mga individual na rehiyon. Sa pamamagitan ng pagsasama hindi lamang sa sektor ng bioenergy kundi pati na rin sa pangangasiwa sa kagubatan, cropland at damuhan. At pamamahala ng mga hayop ang mga modelo ay nagbibigay daan para sa isang buong pagsasaalang-alang ng lahat ng agrikultura at forestry GHG sources. Ang Globium ay nagbibigay ng 10 pinagmulan ng GHG emissions kabilang ang crop cultivation and 20 emissions mula sa paggamit ng fertilizer, CH4 mula sa rice cultivation, livestock, CH4 emissions, and etc.